read Acts of the Apostles, chapter 25. Now when Festus was come into the province, after 3 days he ascended from Caesarea to Jerusalem. This guy Festus is related to this guy's name. It's Porcius Festus, who's a friend of the governor Felix. Then the high priest and the chief of the Jews informed him against Paul and besought him. This just goes on and on and on. And desired favor against him that he would send for him to Jerusalem, laying wait in the way to kill him. There's another laying wait. It just doesn't stop. It really doesn't. That pen stopped though. But Festus answered that Paul should be kept at Caesarea, that he himself would depart shortly thither. Oh, so he's going to go get him. Do something to him. Let them therefore, said he, which among you are able, go down with me and accuse this man. Oh my gosh. Hunting him down now. If there be any wickedness in him. Oh. Well, they're lying in wait to kill him, so now, do you not know that? And now you say you're going to see if there's any wickedness? And when he had tarried among them more than 10 days, he went down into Caesarea, and the next day, sitting on the judgment seat, commanded Paul to be brought. And when he was come, the Jews which came down from Jerusalem stood round about, and laid many and grievous complaints against Paul, which they could not prove. While he answered for himself, neither against the law of the Jews, neither against the temple, nor yet against Caesar. Wow, that's from the Holy Spirit, because that's an art, and that's what Jesus had to do against these horrible, heretical, hypocritical Pharisee and scribe and elders, right? And now Paul has developed this habit, very good, of defensing. And anyway, he was already told, don't even worry about it, I'm going to talk for you. So clearly it's the Lord talking, because these people are vipers, and it's just has to be the Lord just keeping these vipers off of him, because they just want to kill him all the time. They want to kill all these people since Jesus, and it's all the time. But Festus, willing to do the Jews a pleasure, answered Paul and said, wilt thou go up to Jerusalem and there be judged of these things before me? Then said Paul, I stand at Caesar's judgment seat, where I ought to be judged. To the Jews I have done nothing wrong, as thou very well knowest. So they want to drag him to Jerusalem and kill him. For if I be an offender or have committed anything worthy of death, I refuse not to die. But if there be none of these things whereof these accuse me, no man may deliver me unto them. I appeal unto Caesar. Then Festus, when he had confirmed with the council, answered, hast thou appealed unto Caesar? Unto Caesar shalt thou go. And after certain days, King Agrippa and Berenice. I have something written in the back of here about those two. Hold on a second. Ptolemy III, mad sister Bernice, murdered and destroyed Urgent, recovered his idols. I wrote that a long time ago when I was watching Midnight Ride or something, or John Hall, reading the Bible more likely. That's what it was. But it's rare these days you ever know anybody named Berenice, right? I knew one girl. It's like Berenice. maybe Spanish people, but she was American, right? And I thought it was absolutely like a French name, but no, this name goes back very far, way further than French, you see? But it helps me to try to figure out people and places, not places, I can't do that, but positions in time. And so, Ptolemy's mad sister. Okay. This has to be her. There's not going to be another one. It does not seem possible. And after certain days, King Agrippa and Bernice came unto Caesar to salute Festus. Came unto Caesarea to salute Festus. He's the governor, and the king is coming to visit the governor. Uh-oh. And when they had been there many days, Festus declared Paul's cause unto the king, saying, there's a certain man left in bonds by Felix. Oh yeah, not you, huh? Just old Felix did it, huh? Okay. Almost whom, when I was at Jerusalem, the chief priests and the elders of the Jews informed me, desiring to have a judgment against him, to whom I answered, it is not the manner of the Romans to deliver any man to die. Oh, well, what about that whole Jesus thing that just happened? Whoa, did they straighten up their law before the Jews corrected theirs? Is that why they were successful? Like, what's going on here? Oh, listen to that. That doesn't sound to whom it is not in the manner of the Romans to deliver any man to die. Before that, he which is accused have the accusers face to face, and have license to answer for himself concerning the crime laid against him. Praise the Lord. But they didn't give Jesus that license. Jesus didn't go to the DMV that day. He didn't get that license. So somehow, it's interesting, like, so are they sure that, because they did this once, was it against their own law or what? They crucified Jesus, so are they just, decided, wow, that was a really bad thing to do? No. They are doing it from pressure, because of democracy, they're doing it, who knows why that's enforced there, but this is important because had he been sent to Jerusalem, they would kill him on the spot. But this is a stopgate. They're a stopgap for him being killed right now. Therefore, hopefully, we'll see what they say, because they've already leaving him in the prison for 2 years. Therefore, when they were come hither, without any delay on the morrow, I sat on the judgment seat and commanded the man to be brought forth, against whom, when the accusers stood up, they brought none accusation of such things as I supposed, but had certain questions against him of their own superstition. See? So these aren't like Roman crimes, like, it is though, right? They're murderers, and we know that, but as of right now, the crimes they're committing are not considered like crimes per se. It's more considered, these are just two cults fighting against each other. I think that's the point. Okay, but had certain questions against him of their own superstition, and of one Jesus, which was dead, whom Paul affirmed to be alive. Right? So it's like, they don't know anything about this. So at least this law is there, but it seems like it wasn't there that day when Jesus died, so when did it get there? But this is saving him right now, it looks like. And because I doubted of such manner of questions, I asked him whether he would go to Jerusalem and there be judged of these matters. But when Paul had appealed to be reserved unto the hearing of Augustus, I commanded him to be kept till I might send him to Caesar. Then Agrippa said unto Festus, I would also hear the man myself. Tomorrow, said he, thou shalt hear him. And on the morrow, when Agrippa was come, and Bernice with great pomp, and was entered into the place of hearing. So she's from Egypt, I think. And she's crazy. We should look her up. It's probably pretty fascinating. I mean, not fascinating, but it'll be some way to remember her. If we want to, let's see what she does. We may just forget that idea. With great pomp, and was entered into the place of hearing, with the chief captains and principal men of the city at Festus's commandment, Paul was brought forth. And Festus said, King Agrippa, and all men which are here present with us, ye see this man about whom all the multitude of the Jews have dealt with me, both at Jerusalem and also here, crying that he ought not to live any longer. My gosh, what is wrong with these people? Nobody's going to war against them, telling them that they shouldn't live any longer. Okay? Well, not anymore, not these days, but you can't really say that's happening, because that may just be like a Zionistic place, and that's not true entirely. I know there's some good people there, but just like anywhere else. But it's like, this is every verse. They're just hunting down Paul. They want him dead, just like Jesus, just like Stephen. They're on the road to him, right? And I heard that they do this to every apostle, so I think we're on number 2, because it was Stephen, and they've been hunting this guy down since the beginning, since Stephen. He's right behind him. So he's been hunting him down for a very long time, like many years. Okay, so... But when I found out that he had committed nothing worthy of death, right? Oh, good. This guy got sense in his head. And that he himself hath appealed to Augustus, I have determined to send him. Of whom have I no certain thing to write unto my Lord, wherefore I have brought him forth before you, and specially before thee, O King Agrippa, that after examination had, I might have somewhat to write. So, this is not the first time that they are hunting down and trying to kill these apostles. In fact, it's Paul in particular, right? The same thing. Look at this is what is happening. So he says he might have something to write. He doesn't even know what to say to Augustus. I don't know why there's an Agrippa. Is it a King Agrippa? Why are there 2 kings? Why is Augustus also a king? Agrippa, I have to look back at Claudius, but oh, you know what? Agrippa is not, well, King Agrippa. Maybe, I think it's Egyptian because of Bernice. Because there's another king now. They're talking about Augustus, right? And, but this is the second time. Paul has been in this exact situation with that other great Roman guy that not only told him he got Paul out, Gallio. They tried to pull that BS with this guy Gallio, bringing Paul in to be killed for no reason, and Gallio went another step. He didn't just say anything. In fact, he doesn't even say much, except he took Paul out of that judgment seat. He put the Sosthenes in, and he beat him. So, this is a good Roman pattern that they don't want to hear about this BS in a way, you know? It's not there. They're like, because, right? They don't know what to do with it. This is the third pen that is not working. I don't think any of them work. Ugh. I think I'm just keep doing the same thing and they don't even work, huh? I'm good. I have to get my pencil. Yeah, they appear fair when it becomes matters of death. Like, they're probably very unfair, right? They kill whoever they want at any time, but for like a general oversight is who they see themselves to be. They are kind of laying their hands off this whole thing. It may just be just they're so cursed because of what they already did. And Pilate probably went crying back to everybody. I don't think we've heard what happened to him, Pontius Pilate, yet. I think we do. We will find out, and if we don't, I'll go look somewhere. But he was he didn't want to do it, but unfortunately, he was fed up to his like eyeballs with this BS of the Jews. He couldn't take it, right? And he's like, "Why are you doing this? You are not even giving me a reason." And then this happened with this guy Gallio and Paul, and they couldn't give him a reason, and not only that, he beat them for even bringing them to bothering them about it. And here's the third time. All right, now what's going to happen with Augustus? What is he going to do? There's like 2-3 chapters left. It's not looking good. But they seem to be kind of fair, and this not fair. But they're not they have a different law than these Jews that are just. I don't even understand what's going on because they want to kill him. Then just kill him. What's wrong with you? But they're like, it's our law. We can't kill him. Okay, well, what don't you understand? It doesn't mean you can broker it out to somebody else. It doesn't mean that you can have somebody else kill him for you. And that's what they keep doing. This is the hypocritical. It's not just these parts in the gospel where, they're like, how dare you pick work and eat corn on the Sabbath? Like, what are they talking about, right? They're eating on the Sabbath also. They are not like fasting on the Sabbath. Who do you think you are? That's not like that's just the general nature of things. That's their lying in wait. That's their just being dirty. But the true hypocritical nature is this murder aspect. So it looks like the Romans have really backed off, or at least they appear to be, or they're supposed to be following some kind of Roman law that says like you should really kind of have a good reason to kill somebody. And in fact, they don't have one. And this is the third time. So we're going to keep remembering Pontius Pilate because we haven't found out what happened to him. But at this point, it's like, did he go crying back to like all these Romans going, oh my God, I wrote some whole thing about there was a giant earthquake, everything, the sky was, rent from top to bottom, everything, like, did he scare them? Like, why they are so afraid to go near any of this, right? And it may not be because of a good part. What I'm trying to say is, it may not be, laws benefit the rich, right? Basically, why is there created injustice, right? And justice, not injustice. Because they are there to protect the rich, right? Like housing law, things like, you don't come near my house, things like this, right? What I'm wondering about this Roman law about killing people, well, it already happened. They already took the Jesus and like mocked him and put him in a purple robe. Like, were they bored? Were they, like, did this law, like, so come up after this? Like, okay, if we say he's not guilty, you're not supposed to just kind of keep, like, playing with him like a cat and a mouse and dressing him up and then attaching a cross. Like, and I still don't know who made that decision, except it seems like there's just so many so much bullshit going around because they had created such a terror dome, the Jews. Like, they just wanted him dead. Well, go kill him. It just takes like a few rocks. Like, why are they? It doesn't even make sense, right? But I think somehow it's not out of really anybody's, the richest benefit that this law is created. If you really think about it, and this is the law till we have this day, right? If you think about it, you know that guy, Pontius Pilate, went running back to all the Romans. Oh my God. Do not ever, ever deal with these people. Oh my God. I cannot tell you what just happened to me, right? And he just had like a total fearful breakdown. And they're like, whoa. You know, and they already have problems. Like, they already have their Dianas and Apollos and all those things. And so they have beliefs, and they are superstitious to an extent, right? No matter if they think they're rational Roman thinkers, they are still under due superstition from something or another. And it kind of makes you wonder, though, right? Like, they didn't, how did this law get created? It's not just from like the Greeks, somebody handed them. It's like from Hammurabi Code. It's not like from, you know, I mean, and the law is not, there's only the law, the Torah, right? That is the law from God, right? This is man's law, right? This is what the first we're ever hearing on the face of the earth about man's law, besides all of these Jewish man's laws that God abhors. But in this case, with the Roman, it's saving Paul's life because it's written down now pretty clearly, and they're not following God's law, do not kill. They are allowing killing, but they want a reason for it, right? Which the Jews have never wanted or needed in respect to hunting down Jesus. They didn't, you know, feel their law, do not kill, was sufficient to do not kill. But the Romans, I believe, were heavily influenced somehow by Pontius Pilate and the death of Jesus Christ. And I don't know how much it has to do with keeping Paul out, and Agrippa. Like, Agrippa, it seems like Agrippa and Herod and Augustus, they all know each other, I feel like. But I'm not sure where they all lie. And Herod, did he die yet even? Like, where is he? Isn't it like, okay, but anyway, we're almost, I'm going to stop. But it's a consideration that wherever these Romans gathered their laws and stuff and get this Senate and stuff like this, well, they didn't just develop it themselves. Like, they got it from somewhere else. They got it from, you know, other laws, like, just like Akkad or Sumer, or like, you know, they just didn't come up with it one day. But, you know, they refined it, you know, to suit themselves. But what are the odds? It just so happens that the man that kills Jesus Christ are the ones actually having to develop the law. And actually, you know, somehow that story got placed in the Senate, the story, the history of Jesus and what happened, because you know that guy, Pontius Pilate, came crying, with his tail between his legs, crying and going insane about what happened. And so they have to leave some consideration, and I think this is really telling. But what I like about them is that I like this guy Gallio, that he took Paul out of that seat and beat them because they had no reason. And this is a little bit of a common, but not much, because they're not really helping him. They haven't taken him out of prison. So, but at least they are considering, well, it's not even at least, they're not doing anything good. But we have a view on what they're thinking. Yeah, they're not helping, to be honest. In fact, the only reason I brought this up is because this is so ridiculous. This lying in wait for murder, murder, murder. It's just happened. Now this is the third time in a row. They did it to Jesus, they did it to Stephen, and now that they've been doing it to Paul. And all these people probably know that they've been doing it for 30 years. They're hunting him down, right? And this is like going on for a while now. They're talking about 2 years here, 2 years there, a year here. It seems like maybe like at least 20-year period has gone by, if not like 50, I'm not sure. But at this point, this is all they have. These governors are talking amongst each other, talking about, you know what, why I really wanted you here? Because I don't even know what to write to Augustus. Because you know why? It's the same stupid story. There is the same pattern. Nothing has changed. They're lying in wait. They want to murder him. And they're brokering it out with you. Nothing has changed. And the last one that they came to with that bullshit, this Gallio, he beat your elder. Don't forget, Sosthenes. He beat him. Now, why they do not beat these Jews coming to them now, I don't know. Because there's too many. For it seemeth to me unreasonable to send a prisoner, and not withal to signify the crimes laid against him. Oh my gosh. See, this is like American law now, right? But you kind of wonder, like, what their laws really were in a way. I think they had some pretty good laws. Like, they had some real human rights kind of things. The only thing that stick out to me is the one that like deception was a crime, like lying, like basically, right? So if doing things by deceptive purposes, they took that very seriously, right? In our courts nowadays, I think that's kind of the opposite. Like, you can do anything until you get caught, maybe, but they demand proof, these people, and here it is. You're not going to, he says, unreasonable to send a prisoner without signifying the crimes against him. And there are no crimes against him, and there were no crimes against Stephen, and there were no crimes against Jesus, right? But at least these people are the stopgap from just them hunting down and murdering them. There's the stopgap. You can't really say too much nice about him because you just can't. But except I can say something nice about this Gallio. And if they had been a little, well, let's see what happens. But I think the death of Jesus, I think that Pontius Pilate went crying like a baby back to whoever, this Agrippa and this Augustus, and because I'm wondering, where are they getting this law? All right.